Some French princes that became old dirty bastards. Spent half their life off their nut getting plastered. 2 decades later after they first met, now chatting shit on your TV set. It's Scotty Motty, Scotty Motty, Scotty Motty, Scotty Motty, Scotty Motty.
Jay here for Scotty and Motty. That's obviously Scotty, and we've got a very special guest with us today. We've got Stuart Hamner, also known as Streetwise Stu, who does a lot of good work in the community. So we thought, due to the fact we don't do any good work in the community, we'd get someone in who does to chat about it. Stu, thanks for coming on the channel.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Me and you've spoke quite a few times over on social media, and I've shared quite a few of your videos and some of the stuff you've been doing. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff you do, but for anyone who doesn't know, they might think, I know that name, or I've seen Jay sharing his stuff, I'm not sure. Yeah. Just tell us a little bit about the sort of the work you've been doing in the community.
Well, it started, funnily enough, by getting married. I always said I'd never get married.
When I said work in the community, I don't think you said I got married. That's not work in the community.
Well, but this is how it started. I never really wanted to get married, but when me and my partner at the time spoke about it, we went to Gorton Monastery, and the price was just a bit out of our league. I was in and out of work, so we just didn't do it. And then 6 months passed or something, and then it came up again, getting married. And I said to her, look, I'm not really up for getting married. And she went, Stuart, I'll marry you tomorrow. She went, I really want to get married. And I thought that was a bluff. I thought, no woman's going to get married without a dress and hair and makeup and all the big shenanigans. Yeah. And I said to her, the sinister side in me, I said, really? Don't put a challenge to me. And she went, no, honestly, Stuart, I'll get married tomorrow. So I said, right, you tell me when and I'll be there. So she said, right. She went away. I didn't think she'd fall for it or go for it. And lo and behold, she pulled me an hour late. She went, right, we booked in next Thursday, Manchester town, Herring House near the town hall, 9 o'clock. So I said, right, okay. So on the Wednesday, I said, we're not going to tell anyone, we'll just do it. I said, because I can't be doing with headache. She said, right, okay. So on the Wednesday, she said, just to let you know, we need 2 witnesses. She's got a daughter, 21. And we both live with my mum at the minute. She went, well, I'm thinking my daughter and your mum. I said, no. I says, I've got an idea. Well, that's 2 homeless people. We'll make their day. Without them, we've got no day, and we'll make their day. And I thought, now she's going to put the block on it. Yeah. And she said, brilliant, let's do it. So I knew straight away I won the lottery as having a wife that's going to go for this. I thought, I'm made up here. So gets to town nice and early. Sees this fella asleep in a doorway on Deansgate, so runs over. And I had in my mind what I wanted to ask him and what I wanted to say and offer him. I thought, you can't just, you've got to offer these people something. Woke him up, he had a little dog with him. And some people, this is where the story has changed a little bit, because people have a perception. You see someone in a doorway and they think bad of them. I don't look like that. Maybe I'm the fool, I don't know. But I'm trying to now encourage people to maybe look like me. He's had a rough time, this fella. Clearly, he's in a doorway. Yeah. He's not chose to be there. No. So people will say, oh, he's an alky, oh, he's a druggie. This fella was the most humble, nicest guy you've ever met. Well-spoken. And his story was he just fell on, it was bad luck story after bad luck story. Loss of this, loss of that, wife left him there. Well, you know it, his choice was that doorway. Yeah. So I woke him up and I says, excuse me, mate, do me a favour, any chance you could be the witness at my wedding? And his face lit up. It was made up. He said, normally people, he said, oh, I've got an out, mate. He said, people robbed me. I said, what do you mean, robbed? You robbed the homeless? He says, yeah. I said, well, listen, can you do it? He went, I'd love to. I says, I've got 3 options for you. I'd worked out in my mind what I wanted as an offer. I said, I've got 100 quid, give you £100 cash, or I'll get you a new full rig out, new tent, sleeping bag, all that. And then he went, don't buy me a tent. He says, people set us on fire. So by now my heart's breaking. I'm kind of laughing. When I'm nervous, I laugh.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, it's a shock, isn't it? You're not expecting that to happen.
So I starts laughing and says, no, what do you mean? He said, I've been set on fire twice, mate. So I put my head in my hands. I said, right, so we won't be behind any fire blanket, anything that's going to get you set alight anymore. I said, I can get you in a hotel for a night, so, really nice. I said, I'll get you in the Midland or something and have a meal and all that. He went, if I'm honest, mate, he says, I prefer the 100 quid. Yeah. I said, because that way, he said, I can get myself freshened up. He said, I can't go mooching in the Midland. He said, I do the odd bit of sofa surfing at a mate's every night, but in general, 5 out of 7 nights I'm down here. I said, but I need someone else. He went, I'll go and get my mate. And he ran off. I'm minding his dog now on Deansgate. And I said to Adele, what I'll do, I'll ask if they're all right. I was videoing it. And that's how it became born. I've done this video and I'm on Deansgate. So I said, right, I'm getting married. I've got this guy's dog. And then they come back and I do a little, I said, right, what's your name, mate? And it was Nick and Lewis. And Lewis is sparking up a little cig before we go in. And they're just normal guys. Guys. And then they videoed us getting married, and I do a video then as I was all at the thing signing the thing, and it didn't go viral, as they say, but no one knew I'd got married. Right. So I was in Brown's, the old Athenaeum, me and Adele, we had our dinner in there, this was our wedding meal, and I just put a video together, chopped it down and all that. First time I'd ever done it.
Really?
Yeah, never, just editing that and doing it. Eating me dinner on my phone and all this. She's like, we're having our, and I said, because she didn't realise what we were doing. So I'm getting, wait there, this video's coming along here. And next thing you know, I just pressed send, sent it to all my mates. My phone, my meal went cold. No way have you got married. Everyone's, my mum's, this better be a bleeding joke. Went, Mum, we married. And then we went home. We had dinner, went home, had a cup of tea and some custard creams.
Nice.
And that was that. So,
wedding evening.
So, from that, I said to Adele, I'm going to help these poor people. And as we were walking around, you don't realise how town has become. And then I'm from Gorton and I go for a kebab in Longsight probably once a week, and Longsight becomes similar. Yeah. And other areas, and I know me lads in Trafford and that, and saying it's bad here. So I just thought I need to try and help, and that really spurred me on. Yeah. And that was how Streetwise Stu became born. The name was derived from one of the lads that helps me. He has he calls it like an ethical clothing brand, Streetwise and Conscious, and they do like a donation thing. Whereas if you buy a hoodie from Streetwise and Conscious, or a jumper, or whatever it may be, an item of clothing, they donate something called a street sack to a homeless person. And a street sack is basically a little lifesaver. It's a little rucksack, and it's got a hat in it, a pair of gloves, socks, thermals, toothpaste, toothbrush, just some essentials that you might need. Yeah. So they're called Streetwise and Conscious. Said, we'll work with you and we'll call you Streetwise Stu. And I'm not creative at all. I went, that'll do for me. And that's how the name came about. So I just started going around doing little videos. I'd always ask some people the negative side of what you do. I suffer badly if people are negative. I just feel like they're a drain. Yeah. They drain you.
When you say negative, are you talking about online? Are you talking about physical?
Online mainly. You'll do a video and someone, or sometimes some of the people that I've worked with, and I'm not having a go at them because everyone's entitled to opinion. But some people have said, "Why do a video? Why video it?" Yeah. And they think that they must think that I just rock up some poor homeless fellow or lady and do a video for praise. They've said the messages they've got is you're only doing this for likes. You're only doing this for new followers. But what they've not seen is I've had a chat with someone for 10 minutes, sat down, and a lot of homeless people, as you're leaving, they pull you and they go, thanks for talking to me. Yeah. They just want you to talk to them, and they go, they feel invisible.
Yeah. What would be your response to them people then? Because I understand there are people out there that would do that. Obviously your story is a little bit different, but unfortunately the sort of digital world is very cynical. So I understand why they've got that perception, but it's not right to start pointing at you. But what would you say to them?
What I've tried to do to those that know, I've tried to educate them, or my version of education, in saying, you know me better than that. Yeah. I'm not in it. Because one of them said, he was quite cynical. He said, you're only doing this for likes and money. So I'd done a bit of research. And to get any kind of money, because this was just YouTube at the time, I'd done a video on YouTube, you needed a minimum of 10,000 followers or something, or subscribers. You needed your video to be less than a certain thing. It needed to have so many million views, and then you got about 60 quid.
There's a lot of variables in them.
Yeah. So, and there is people that make a living, but these people have done it for years, built up a platform that's legitimate and all of that. I was just a fella with a mobile phone. Yeah. And he's now thinking that I'm all of a sudden going to become a millionaire or something. Yeah. So I had to tell him all that. And then he said, if you really want to help, so this was, to be fair to him, he kind of spurred me on. He said, if you really want to help, fucking buy him something, or do this or do that. Because what I'd done the first few times was give him some money. I'd started by saying, here you go, pal. I'd done a little video with a bloke called Ian in Longsight. And I started off by talking to him before the video, and his story was just heartbreaking. He was 50, he was 60 at the time. He'd worked up until the age of 55, left school from West Gorton, left school, and he worked in a pet shop and lived above it, a little one-bed flat above where he works, a good little setup. He had no wife, no kids, out like that. And then one day, the landlord that owned the building, i.e. the pet shop and the flat, just said, look, we're selling up. And then a sale went through in no time, and all of a sudden, this is like the worst case scenario, but you'd be amazed at how often it happens. He's lost his job and his place of work, and his home, sorry.
Yeah.
So, at 55, he wasn't internet savvy, he had an old mobile, didn't really know who to phone at the council or what to do. He said to me, I thought it was just going to be a burden phoning Peter Mivering. His family was fairly small and had like disintegrated around him. Weren't really in touch with people. So the money he had, he said, I went and bought a tent, sleeping bag. He'd been there ever since. He's 61 now. Yeah. So he's seen him sat outside. I said, oh, Ian, that is a heartbreaking story. He said, who do you support, mate? He went, City. I went, well, I'm a United fan and I'll help you. And that kind of people like, no way, what are you helping here?
Come on.
And that was it. I said, behave. I said, this fella, he was a human. I said, and I've kind of developed a couple of little mottos. I say, need isn't weak, need is need. Yeah. And this fella needed a lift. And if I can give him a lift, who am I to not help someone? Because I'll tell you something, I'll need a lift one day. As sure as eggs are eggs, as they say. We all need something sometime. And again, that went quite big. But after it being edited, because there was a few swear words in there and a few unpleasantries, but the video was a belter. And this lad said to me, ask him if he needs an haircut or out like that, because he had this big beard, looked like Father Christmas, and he was. And again, this is another perception people say. I don't like approaching homeless people because they look a bit rough. And I said to him, well, they're not going to look brand new, are they? You have a week without having a shower and a shave and freshening any clothes up. You're not going to look $1 million. This fella's been there for 5 years. So that was a good one. Because some people, it's like, I didn't think of that. They're not being ignorant or rude, they're just not thinking. So I said to him, Ian, tell me to back off, because again, you don't know if you're going to offend these people. I said, would you want a shower and all that carry on, a haircut? He went, oh, I'd love it. He's like, oh, with his beard. He went, I'd love it. I said, right, I'll go and see my mate. I've got a couple of mates at barbers. Goes and sees this fella. He went, bring him in. Not a problem. So I said, am I all right videoing it? He went, brilliant. I said to him, am I all right? He went, not a problem. He said,
you always ask permission.
Always ask permission.
I think that's a misconception sometimes that people don't get. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to ask permission, because, and that's going back to the original fella that was quite cynical. I said, Dave, I spent 20 minutes with this fella, chatting to him. I said, I'd have a coffee with him, bought him some chips, and then said to him, would you be, and he went, yeah, and this is how upbeat he was. He goes, Brad Pitt might play me one day if we make it. He just have it, and I'm thinking, I'm moaning that I've got an headache or that I'm down to my last tenner or whatever. This fella's got nothing, and he's absolutely upbeat all the time. So we does this video, picked him up, but he didn't know. I don't know, as I'm driving down the road, the wife's videoing me, and I see he sits outside this kebab house in Longside, winds the window down. I says, Ian! And he looks up, and I says, come on mate, I'll go and get you something to eat. And he comes running over, and we've got it all on video. Then I says to him, right, do you want your haircut now? And he went, yeah, and his bottom lip went a little bit, and then we drove it and sits him in. And he just felt $1 million. He just felt. And what we take for granted, this fella's now thinking he's the king, you know what I mean? And we've done this time-lapse video of him having his hair and beard cut and all that. And then, as we're videoing it, as we're doing it, Adele's phone's ringing. There was other lad that had told me what we were doing. He said, Stuart, I've just sent you 60 quid. Get him an hotel for the night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said, we can't have him. And then I looked at Adele. She's booked it there and then. And then I had a pair of shoes in the back of the car that was a size 6 that I just bought. Because that was another thing that I'd been doing. I'd been going round to go outdoors. I'd got up a bit of a rapport with go outdoors. They weren't knocking me loads off. But I'm one of them. If you don't ask, you're not going to get. But it's the way you ask. If you bounce in somewhere and say, yeah, mate, give us this. Or can you give me that? You're getting nowhere.
Yeah, no.
Excuse me, mate. I can speak to the manager. I always have to speak to the manager. Yeah. And it's, I suppose, a bit of Gorton charm. I don't know.
About to say,
you've got to do something. You've got. Do you know what I mean? But if you brought up well, I think, and I'd like to think my mum and dad did their best with me. Just ask and ask politely. The worst you can say is no. Yeah. Because I was going to buy something anyway, and that's the thing. They kind of knew. They knew he's not leaving with nothing. But I want something off, please. And they just said, right. We what a lot of these firms do. They make a decision at the beginning of the year. I'm not knocking it, but I think it's a bit flawed. they'll donate to one charity throughout the year.
Yeah, they have a part of the budget. I can't remember the name of it's called. Yeah,
and they'll say we're donating to, which is good because they're giving to someone, but it might be 12 months to the Samaritans, and that's what they were saying. They said we've picked our thing, but what we can do, we'll knock you. If you spend £100, we'll knock you 10% off. So I went and bought 10 sleeping bags and got them at a wanna, and that was that when I did them. So. This Ian, I had these pair of shoes. I've been buying shoes for people and just bits. And I thought, I've got a pair of shoes in the car. And I said, what size shoes are you? Size feet? He went, 6. I thought, yes. So, and they were falling off him. So he's gone from just getting an haircut to having a new pair of shoes and an old self for the night. And because I said, when you're at the counter, I said, and again, going back to the permission, I said, this is about trying to help you now. I said, I think you'll be amazed what happens here. And it was all a thought. It weren't nothing set in stone. I said, we'll video you going in. And he's at the counter with his pair of shoes, his new haircut. And I didn't want to get the key and pass it him. The name was in his name. The room was in his name. It's his room. So go and get the key. So he goes up, gets the key, and we got him the breakfast and said to him, make sure you eat everything in the morning. I said, oh, you can eat breakfast. Load up on the sausages and whatnot. Yeah. So that was that. He went and then I comes outside, does a little video, and the wife, she picks up on it. She used to be a money laundering compliance officer. She doesn't miss a trick. Right. I was quivering a little bit because I said thank you to Zach's Barbers. It was just a bit emotional for me. And then we posted it, 70,000 views, which isn't a lot when you see things for millions, but just for a fella from Gorton just doing this little thing, it just shot up. And then going back to what might come of it, I see Ian probably once a fortnight, and he says, hey, a fella was driving a Arctic lorry on Stockport Road the other day. He says, I heard it beep, 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 stopped the truck, ran in Greg's, got out, I went, there you go, Ian, I seen you on the internet, and got him a past it. And I thought, well, there you go. It's a success because someone's seen the video, seen Ian. He says, people have been giving me £5, £2, buy me a portion of chips, whatever. So that my answer to any cynics is it works.
That's the thing, isn't it? People don't see the knock-on effect, the awareness that people. When people say awareness, they think it's just like a one-dimensional. This is what's happening. Yeah. They don't see the repercussions, but like obviously the knock-on effect is that other people are helping.
One negative was someone said black his face out. So I thought, okay, I'm open to criticism. You've got to be. So I put, why? I asked, okay, but can you tell me why? He went, for dignity. So, dignity. So, I don't. This was only the other night because the story goes, I'd been nominated for an award after doing some of this, because this was starting to become a thing with me now.
How long has this been going on?
Since January.
January. So it's pretty early then.
Yeah. It was literally. I weren't in the house every night. I was saying to her, come on, we'll go out. And I don't earn a lot of money. I used to be a signalman for Network Rail at Piccadilly. Yeah. High-end job, big money. I lost my job in 2019. I was diagnosed with depression and I had a few other things going on, and it just all went a bit pear-shaped. And that was where me inspiration for helping the homeless came from. Once I'd seen them lads on the wedding day, I realised I could have been in this situation. When I lost my job, I lost everything. I ended up having to lose the house, all this stuff. And if it weren't for good friends and family, like Ian didn't have that network, I had great friends and family, old school friends. I'm 45 on Saturday, and I still see people that I went to school with. Yeah. And they've said to me when I was down on my luck, do it there, it's 20 quid. You all kind of think you'd never accept it or you'd never need that. If I need something and you offer it me, I'm not going to say no. Thank you. And then I'll repay the favour when I can, because sure as eggs is eggs, you'll need it. It's how the world turns. 100%. So I'd been nominated for this award after helping at Coffee for Craig. I got involved with Coffee for Craig, which is an homeless drop-in centre facing strange ways. So I'd started buying the clothes and the sleeping bags. Yeah. And then I started buying food. I've got a mate out on Gorton Market. When I'd been to there, that was an eye-opener, Coffee for Craig. I'd seen homelessness on the streets, but I didn't really see what went on after hours. The numbers are frightening. Yeah. I goes down there, and it's a setup that is just to die for. But they need help, they need funding, they need everything. So the woman that runs it, she's called Risha, and she's quite quiet and reserved. So I think she kind of needed someone like me coming along who's a bit of a bubbly personality. Yeah. And I said, so what do you need? She went, oh, we need everything. She went, we need food, regular supplies of food, clothes. And they have a system, they're queuing up at the door to have an hot meal. They're open from 6 till 8. They're serving 100 a night, 100 people a night. And they just run out quite a lot, and they've just mucked something together, you know, if they can. And again, I said to the wife, listen, we'll abandon the sleeping bags for a few weeks here. We'll go on the food trail. Go straight to my mate on Garden Market with 50 quid. And I said, George, I've got 50 quid here, but I'm not going to lie to you, I want 100 quid worth of meat. What are the odds? I told him what for, and he's a gentleman, this fella. I've known him 25, 30 years. He just, when you go in there as a normal punter, we buy our meat off him. You go and have 6 chops, George. You don't count them, he just throws them in. And before you know it, I'll get home and Adele go, there's 12 chops in there. He's charged us 4 quid or whatever. So it's just old school, you know, proper butcher. And that's why I don't go to Tesco's for that time. These people need support. I'm a support your local things. Tesco's don't need my tenner, really. George does. So that's how it was. And I said, can I come in often, George? Because I told him what he meant. Just come down and I'll look after you. So I told Risha that she turned up like Santa Claus. But that meat lasted 2 nights. You know what I mean? Chicken breasts. Blah, blah, blah. So we've then set up a website. A mate approached me from the match, big United fan, seen what I'd done. And this is where the good side of the socials, and I was starting to get really empowered then. It was people were messaging, oh, I saw your video at Coffee for Craig, no way, brilliant. Because I was doing the pots and everything. Because they just need volunteers. So, I'm doing videos upstairs where the shoes were, there was like 4 pair of shoes. And I said, anyone at home got any old jeans, shoes? All of a sudden my house looked like flannels, all with old Hugo Boss shoes and stuff. But all my mates wear all decent gear. So they were saying, Stuart, I've got pairs of trainers here that I've not worn for 5 years. All of a sudden the shelves were looking push, sorry. And that's been a constant as well. So I've had, this fella said, look, I'll get you the website. You now need a website. So I'm like, fucking hell, a website? I've gone from helping 2 homeless fellas at my wedding, or needing them to help me for my wedding, to volunteering at a drop-in centre, to getting clothes, to getting food, and I was on the march. It was just really good.
Moves fast,
fast pace, and the positivity levels have just gone like that.
Yeah.
Because what I've noticed is a lot of people want to help.
Yeah.
They want to help, but work 9 to 5. They get home at 5:30. They've got to take the kids to school football practice, or they've got to do their homework. Right, we need to sit down. You've got an exam tomorrow, or they've got to cook the tea. Then they've got to pick their husband up from the station. They're not going to go out and start buying sleeping bags. But what they will do is they'll give you a tenner, or they'll say, Stuart, I've got some clothes here. Come and pick them up, or I'll drop them off at the weekend. And I'm not going to say no. I'll drive round, pick them up, and that's how it's worked. It's just progressed. I've had people I've never met messaging me via the socials. What you're doing is great. I've got some shoes for you. And we turned up at one guy's house. He had 3 bin bags, and when we got it home, we opened it up. It was all brand new.
Really?
Could have made 3 ton easy on eBay. This fella. Hugo Boss coat, loads of Marks and Spencer's jeans, all sorts of proper quality stuff. So I said, I'll come and pick it up. Before we opened it, obviously, I got to him pick it. And then as I got to his door, he goes out his hand and gives me 20 quid as well. He went, and that's for you. And I said, thank you, Peter. But I knew that way. I thought, that's going straight on 2 sleeping bags. You know what I mean? And that's what I've done. And that's how we've got, it's just become pretty quick, pretty big. Not massive, but it's become pretty big overnight. And I then gets this nomination for last night at the monastery. And it was, I could bring a +1. So Ian was my +1.
Yeah, of course.
He had to be. I thought it was me and the wife and a +1.
Oh, right, okay.
So straight away in my head I thought I'm doing the same again with Ian, because the beard thing in the air was in the summer.
Yeah.
So I've seen him a few times since, and the beard's slowly but surely growing back. His clothes are now looking a little bit bedraggled again. So I pulled up and I said to him, would you be up for having a proper meal? Because that was the other thing, it dawned on me. He's eating sandwiches and maybe a pasta. He's not really having a hot scran. Sat down with a knife and fork. I started to think, hang on a minute. These are eating sat on the floor, in a doorway on a bus stop. we're having a meal at the table of a night and having a chat.
It's the humanity that's that they lose from them circumstances. I don't
he's
think
lost
gets
all
recognised.
forms of humanity. That's what it is. And he says, Stuart, the amount of times he said, I feel invisible because 100 people might walk past me and one might drop me a quid or whatever. And I thought, wow, that's sad. Isn't it?
The thing with that is, I think you mentioned it at the beginning, is we're all of a similar age. Homeless people, it was one or two a street. I remember in Levenshulme, there used to be a guy called Spike, and he was the local homeless person. Like we knew them by name and stuff. And the problem now is because town was similar. You used to have like, but now it's just inundated street after street after street, and it becomes such a overwhelming thing where they become part of the wallpaper. You know what I mean? It doesn't stand out.
You see people, you talk about that word invisible. I was telling Scotty about this. I said this a few months ago. It was probably about a year ago. I remember outside Morrison's here at Piccadilly, near Piccadilly Gardens. There's someone on the floor outside Morrison's, and it looked like they were dead.
Spark out.
And people just stepping over him. And I was like, is it someone going to check the guy? The person's all right, because it was just
kind of become the norm.
And I was like, is he okay? And it was like, that's the whole thing you said about being invisible and people just sort of making.
I'd like to think I'm similar to you in that respect. I tend to stop if I see something that I don't like. I'll stop me. And maybe I shouldn't get involved, but I think I'm not happy here.
I think sometimes you have that. We come from a similar background where you kind of do that, don't you? Don't like, it's not my business. Or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like grassing or something. But I was like, hang on a minute.
Exactly. I looked at. I've seen it before, and I thought, no, I'm not happy here. Are you okay, pal? I've seen someone crying once. And I get upset every now and then with this depression. Every now and then I have little moments. You okay, pal? And he just lost his mate or something. He just fell apart. This was a while back. But I've always kind of had that. I'm drawn to, if I see someone looking a bit vulnerable, try and help, because we can all be in that state. Sometimes that's going to happen.
Tell us a little bit about your award, the nomination.
So the nomination was for You Make the Difference Award. Right. Now I knew nothing about this because I don't normally, I was telling Scotty before, I don't normally do kind of parties and things like that. I have this little bit of a saying, self-praise is no praise, but someone said to me, well, this isn't self-praise, you've been nominated. And I thought, okay, fair enough, I'll go then, because I weren't going to go. I thought, no, it's not for me. But it was at Gorton Monastery, my favourite ever building. I loved that place. And You Make the Difference Award. I thought, what's all this? So anyway, gets nominated. And then turns up last night, there's 10 categories. I was in this You Make the... I tell a lie, I was nominated for 2. I was the only one on the night that was nominated for 2. It was the You Make the Difference Award and the People's Champion Award, but that one won by a lady that works at Tesco's. She does a lot. She buys a lot of stuff and gives it out and things like that. So she's well deserved. But there was 2 other people in my category, and I didn't know them from Adam. And then the fella that was at our table was from Redgate Holdings, which is on Hyde Road near the depot, the long site maintenance depot.
I know
near the BOC garage. They do waste management. So he was handing out, the You Make the Difference Award was sponsored by them, and he was handing out the certificate, or the trophy, sorry. And he goes up and does his thing, and then he just shouts my name out. I might not sound it now, but I'm normally pretty shy. Some people say I've got 2 personalities. Because sometimes I just won't talk, and other times you can't shut me up. Someone once said, is your tongue scared of the dark? So I goes up, and I knew in my mind, I'd never had a speech prepared, but I took Ian. We'd got him, that was how the other part of the story. I'd got Ian, I'd asked him, did he want to come last week? He said, oh yeah, I'd love to. I said, and Ian, we're having a knife and fork, we'll be sat down. He went, oh, and again, he said, I've not used a knife and fork for 5 years. 5 years? 5 years.
That's mad, isn't it, when you think
so about it? Again, I kind of have when he gets out of the car, I have these little breakdowns, it's like, because I've got a million knives and forks at home, and you sit down every night. And
take it for granted, that kind of thing.
This kind of thing.
Think about it.
2025 in 3 months' time or something, and this fella's not had a meal for. So I thought, I'm going to have to do the same. I can't have him turning up looking bedraggled. I want him to feel smart.
Yeah, of course.
So we've done the same again. Got him his haircut, got him a travel lodge, got him a new outfit. But from going back to the website, I keep rambling a little bit here, but the website, we've set up a donations page. This lad said, because I was anti that, asking for money as such. So far, any money I'd got was off my mates. He said, Stuart, you're being told people want to help. Trust me on this. He said, we'll set up a PayPal thing, and what we'll do, anyone that donates, said we'll be transparent. He said, because some people might think, I'm not giving a tenner to a fellow I don't know. But I don't know he's not going to go to the bookies.
Yeah.
or right, cheers.
Yeah.
So when I buy things now, I'll do a receipt. So I'll show, right, we're 100 quid this month, and I've been out and bought 140 quid worth of stuff. So I always put a bit in myself. And things like that. And that's how it goes. So we've been after more subscribers as such, or more people, and it's slowly but surely now there's people donating. We've got like a regular contribution, a tenner a month.
Yeah.
A few United fans that I've never met.
Yeah, of course.
They've gone, Stuart, I've just signed up to your thing there, a tenner a month. So we've got a consistent bit. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's enough to help us.
It's making a difference.
Of course, it's making a difference, and it'll only grow, hopefully.
Yeah.
There's a chef. I hope I know he won't mind me mentioning him, in Jersey, from Manchester. He's done really well. Messaged me out the other week. He went, I just donated £50 a month, doing a subscription £50 a month for you. He said, I made it in life, mate. He says, and I don't forget where I'm from.
So he knows.
He knows the SP, and he's a top fella. And he said, I'm going to come over in the new year. I've got a few business things that are going a bit south at the minute. He said, I need to get them back up and running. He said, but I'll come over and I'll do like a chef masterclass type thing. He said, I know loads of chefs in Manchester. He said, we'll help out. Do you know what I mean?
That's brilliant. That just shows when you talk about the cynic at the beginning and the people having the negative comments, just how fast the journey can go and how much, like I said, people want to sort of are drawn to help him but don't know how. Sometimes they don't have the time. So it's great that you're putting your front.
Going back then to the dinner, we text Ian, we got him haircut, clothes, all that, and we never told anyone. I'm not making a point of telling anyone that this, because people are asking at the table, and Ian was just he's quite shy. He's only said small and all.
Is he?
Dead small. He's quite shy. He sat there and he's enjoying his scran. I watched him eat every morsel of this tea, and I felt bad because I don't eat cabbage or Swede. I'm bad with veg, but I thought I can't leave anything. I don't like it, but I ate most of it, and I left a bit of this cabbage and Swede. But he ate a lot, and he had his pudding and all that, and he was made up. So when I won, I didn't expect. I'm one of them. I don't expect to win anything. Excuse me, but they shouted my name. I thought, oh no. So as I'm walking up, I'm kind of thinking, this is the only thing I've won since I won Joke of the Night at Sacred Heart Parish Hall when I was about 7. I've never won anything. So I said that in my speech. I said, it's the first thing I've won since my joke. And that joke, I remember, there's no way I could tell that joke now. It was at some Christmas fair at Sacred Heart, and my uncle said, go and tell this joke. And I didn't know, I had some swear word in it or whatever. You just couldn't. It was a Bernard Manning type joke. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember. It's 1992 or something like that. But you could have got away with it. I can't remember what it was, but I knew that it was a bit, it wouldn't have been allowed today. But everyone starts laughing, and then I just got on a bit of a roll. I just said, right, thanks for the award, but my +1 tonight is a gentleman called Ian. Because they'd said in the nominations, they said Streetwise Stu, and this is what he does. He helps the homeless, blah blah blah. So then I says, right, if the homeless situation's rife at the minute, I don't know the answer, but I'm doing my bit. Hopefully you can help me. Like I say, I've got a few mottos. One of them is help me to help others, and that's going back to the people want to help, but they don't know how to. So if you would give me something, I'll make sure it gets to the right destination. So help me to help others is what I said, and I says my +1 tonight is Ian Ogden. I says he's an homeless gentleman, 61, and everyone's face turned, and no one could believe it. And there you go. It had the desired effect. There's an homeless man in the room with us having a meal, and I said, this is the first time he's had a meal, sat down with a knife and fork for over 5 years. Let's just think about that. Yeah. And the room went silent. The mayor was there. Oh, really? Yeah. And all that. And then once I walked off, a few people at the end of the thing come over and they went, listen, unbelievable, thanks for bringing him, and all that type of stuff. And some people, I won't say they were brought to tears, but some people you could see were touched by him. People were coming up saying, listen, what you're doing is great. And then the fella that presented the award, that was on our table, we had a chat with him, and he said, look, I'm going to have a word with the manager at our place, see if he can help you in any way. So nothing's come of that as of yet. It was only yesterday.
Yeah, of course.
But I've got to send him an email and stuff like that. But hopefully it'll just progress. Yeah,
you're having conversations with people, and it's getting into rooms where when you started in January, you didn't even know that you could answer.
Didn't even know how to get your foot in the door.
11, what is it? Not even that 9 months. Not even,
that's amazing. What journey? What's so if people want to check you out more, what's the
Streetwisestu.org is the website.
There's a link in the description. A link there. You can go and click on it. where do you want to take this, Stu?
I want to
Because in the
take
last
this-
9 months, it's been like that.
Oh, it's been, yeah.
What do you want to sort of do with it? Where do you hope to sort of be in the next few years?
I might be sounding as though I'm trying to run before I can walk here, but like I mentioned earlier, I'm in and out of work a lot in a minute. I lost my only job, 23 years I was there for Network Rail. I lost that in 2019. Since then, I've probably had 7 jobs. I'm labouring at the minute, doing bits and pieces. Last week it was, look, don't need you no more, mate. I've got to start next week. That could be another 3 or 4 week job, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to make this a bit of a thing for me. If I can turn this into something where I can do it 5, 6, 7 days a week. Well, I'm not adverse to doing 10 and 12 hour days. I've done it all my life. I'll put the hours in. So if I can turn this into something that I can do permanently, I'll be made up. If I can't, I'll just have to keep doing what I'm doing. Use it. My free time at the minute helps me. Helping others helps me.
Yeah, of course.
Because, like I say, I was diagnosed with depression. If I sit in the house, I go to rack and ruin.
Yeah.
She says to me, "Look, we need to get out. You're on one, aren't you?" She sees. I just. It's hard to describe my version of depression because I just don't talk. I'll just go on mute for about 3 days.
Really?
Don't eat.
Right.
I've not seen my daughter for 5 years since I lost my job. My ex-partner, we split up, and it all went a bit sour. And my daughter was like in the middle of it all. And it's just been a bit hard, that struggle.
Yeah.
We took court battles and things like that. We had COVID. So if I think of her too much, I start getting...
Yeah, of course.
I'll get to see it. There's a process in place. I've just got to follow the process.
Yeah.
And it'll come to, there's an end. Everything has an end date.
Yeah, sure.
But it's been hard not seeing her. So getting out of the house helps me.
Yeah.
So again, my little mottos, I'm full of mottos. Helping others helps me.
Yeah,
If I'm sat in the house, I'm not helping no one. Certainly not helping myself. So if I get out, fresh air, helping, putting a smile. Once I get back in the car, seeing Ian with his or someone that's got a sleeping bag, and they go, "Oh, cheers, mate." Yeah. It's cost a tenner, and they're made up. So it's helped me.
I've like I know it myself, and I've heard a lot of like people who've loads and loads of money, and they say that no matter how much money they've got, they can't buy like the certain happiness that you get from being altruistic, from helping other people and stuff. You can't buy that
It's a sensation. The best description I could give of it, it's like a warm, buzzy, fuzzy feeling. You walk off and you know that. Going back to the negativity, you've not done that for a reward.
Yeah.
There's a buzz reward that's come from within.
That's because I think humans are naturally kind and they want to do good. So I think when you get that sort of feeling from doing something good, I think that's how we're supposed to be.
It's like a dopamine, a version of dopamine.
Yeah, it's a great point. That we did a football match at FC United.
Yeah.
With a homeless charity, the Blue Centre, and we had it was like 11 aside. The score finished 8-8 in the end.
Yeah.
The ref let it play on until they equalised. Yeah. And then like in the 105th minute when they equalised, he blew up for full time. Yeah. And we're all on the bus on the way back, and everyone's like, and these are the same people, the same football people, and we give them haircuts before the game, and it was great. And we're all chanting Champione. And honestly, it was one of the best feelings.
It's such a buzz, and it's cost you nothing except for your time.
A Friday afternoon, I took off work anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The sensation is phenomenal. Once I saw Ian at that counter at the Travel Lodge with his shoes and his fresh clothes and all the rest of it, I drove off feeling as though I just had been made over by Nicky Clark or whatever he's called. I thought I thought made up for someone. I'm always happy for others.
It's good.
I'm not trying to big myself up there. It's just like if I hear someone's been promoted at work, I don't say congratulations through gritted teeth. Made up for you. I'm really made up for someone.
Sure. No, it's good. It comes across. I wanted to ask you. You mentioned you better half, as you said a few times. How important is
she's over there now, isn't she?
I know she is. She's hiding over there.
Believe it or not, she's a City fan.
Right. Well, that's enough of that.
My dad died. Listen to this. My dad died in 2020, and I knew Adele in 1998. I used to go home and away with United. A few of the lads that maybe watch this might know me from there. I used to go everywhere, home away, Europe, the lot, and didn't have a missus. Lived at my mum's in Gorton. I went to work and the match. That was my life. And then I met this girl in the railway in Reddish. No longer there now. I used to drink in Reddish. And a lot of the lads that I went out with, like, oh, she's tidy and all this. Anyway, me and her got talking. I was like the geek United fan, not interested in women at all. But then got talking. Everyone was like focusing on her. So we started dating. And mobile, didn't have a mobile. I think it was 17, 18. And she used to phone the house. It was one of them. Phone the house on a Thursday to see what we're doing for the weekend.
I remember that.
So phone phone the house phone.
Yeah.
I always remember as well, 0161 231 4222. Mad, innit, how you remember your house number. So she's phoning an answer. Right, yeah, I'll see you in the railway Friday and all that. So we got to Inter Milan away, 99. So this was in 98. So we'd had like 9-10 months. Inter Milan, Juventus, final. I needed to focus on United. So these phone calls on a Thursday, I'd run downstairs. I was like that to me, "Mum, don't answer that. That's that Adele." And she'd go, "You're leading her to merry dance. Stop. Just tell her you don't want to see if you don't." I said, No. Anyway, after about 3 Thursdays of no answer, I think she kind of thought he didn't want to know. So there was no phone calls, and we just never saw each other. I just carried on my United journey. But what I remembered about her always struck a chord. She always remember saying to me that she was an orphan at 15. And she come in this pub with her mate, but it was full of lads, and she was tough as teak you could sell. Yeah. I got talking to her, and she worked for the Swinton, I think it was at the time, and she'd done well for us. I'm thinking, wow, she's tough, this girl. 18, no mum and dad. From the age of 15, doing well, blah blah blah. So when my dad died, we had the funeral, and my mate put something on Instagram, and she messaged him. It turns out she had a daughter and been in a relationship herself and all that, but she was now single again. And she put, tell Stu feeling about him and all this, something. So he messaged me, he said, "You're going to get apparently he said, so just ring him yourself, and give him my number, and he said, "You're going to get a message in him." Oh no, no, it's a lie, he never told me, he gave him my number, that was it. Right. So I started getting these messages, "Hi Stu." Now, I'd split up with my ex-missus 12 months earlier, and I thought this is one of the lads winding me up, because I'd not seen anyone for 12 months. I started getting these like messages from this girl calling herself Adele. I'm thinking, this isn't Adele. So I'm dead careful, because I've seen people fall into it going, yeah, I'll meet you, and thought all lovey-dovey messages, and it's the lads in the pub. Yeah. I'm thinking it's one of them. So I was a bit cautious at first. Anyway, in the end, after about a week or two of this, we'd just come out of lockdown, so I go for something sweet. Thinking, if this fella comes out of this crowd saying, "No, I'm going mad," it's going to be one of like all coming, "You fell for it." Anyway, she was there, and we just got on, just took off where we left off, and she went to me, "You left me for United." Like that. I'll let you. She never forgot. And I said, "Well, I'll tell you now. My dad died the other week." I says, "And if he was still around, you wouldn't have got up the garden path." You know, like, his big joke was when I had a few mates who were City fans, and whenever they come knocking on as a kid, he'd say, "Wait at the gate, you'll have a laugh with her." So we kind of reconnected through my dad, and because she'd had no mum and dad from at an early age, she's quite spiritual, and she said, "Your dad dying opened up the path for us to get together." And I look at it and think, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll go for that." And she's just been through me through thick and thin. Like I say, I've lost 4 or 5 jobs in the past 4 years. It's just the industry. I've been in this labouring thing. There's loads of work, but sometimes it's right, we don't need you for a few weeks. Yeah. She stuck by me, helped me with my bills. When I say, right, we'll go out and help the homeless, her side of the story is quite inspiring, because at 15, when mum and dad died, her aunties and uncles were left some kind of trust. There weren't a lot, but they were all bickering over that, and she said, "Look, do you mind? I'm in the room." Yeah. You know, and she could have been homeless. So she's as passionate as me. Yeah. So she'll do the video, so I'll be on the video, and she'll be doing it. So she's like the off-screen.
It's like the director.
She's the director, yeah.
Telling you what to do, yeah?
She'll go like, "You've just swore there." Or
take that again, please.
You can't say that. So yeah, she is an absolute diamond. The football thing we have a laugh about, the United City fan. You know, there's a lot more to life than football. As we've grown up,
there's a lot more to life now that United are rubbish. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Have you noticed it coincided with United being bad? You got back together.
United Champions League. Then.
But what was funny was she remembered she got it's like the Rain Man. She said to me, "Inter Milan, you went there, didn't you?" Yeah, she remembered it. I thought, wow, this bird's on top.
There you go. You say.
But yeah, it's been a great journey with her. We've had our turbulent times, like you say. When you're at work, that's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. We've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah, it puts a strain on things. Like now, this week, I know next week there's going to be a 0 wage because I'm off this week. So knuckle down, But I'll still go out. I'll still find a way to spend a tenner. It might not be a lot this week, but I'll spend a tenner on someone.
Good on you, Stu. It's been really inspirational, isn't it? And
it has, man.
See him, especially how sort of big it's gone so quickly, and that you've received your award and stuff. And it's been amazing, and I wish you all the best going forward.
Thanks for having me.
No,
I really enjoyed this little chat. Yeah.
Listen, there's an open invite. It's been great chatting to you. And like I said, there's a link in the description. Anyone wants to help out in any way, shape or form, you can see what Stu was talking about there. No matter how little, how much you can give, go and click on the link, go and check it out, go and get
There's a monthly subscription, which is, that one's picked up. It's a £5, £10, it's an optional one, but we're not asking for millions. You know, if you could, the phrase that I've kind of come up with, because what the money does, it's a quick explanation. I funnel it into Coffee for Craig.
Yeah.
In one or two ways. I'll either go and buy a load of food from Costco, Gorgeous George, on Gorton Market, or wherever, or I'll buy tents, sleeping bags, clothes, and send it them. And then say that I might say there's not an actual percentage, but 70% will go that way, and then the other 30% I'll take to go and buy things and give to people on the street.
Yeah.
As in, what do you need? Oh, because I have that saying: need isn't weak, need is need. I'm here to help you. What do you need?
Yeah.
And they'll go, I need some shoes, mate. Right, well, what size? Come on, we'll go and get them.
Yeah.
And like that, and walking to go outdoors, and right, do you want them ones? Yeah. And that's how it is. So, and then I'll do a video saying, right, I've just email. Some people say, I don't want to be on video, mate. And I'll go, not a problem. I'll do a video though, saying I've just bought, you know, or sometimes I won't do the video.
Yeah.
If they don't want a video, they know, you know, it's not all about the video. But I'll say to someone, I've met a fella here, we've looked after, thanks to your donation. So I can't emphasise that enough. The donation side of things is keeping us going. Because initially it was just all me funding it.
Right.
Which is all well and good, but when you're at work, you've got to look after yourself.
It's a community problem, and I think the community should come together to fix it. But Stu, thank you so much for coming on.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, cheers.
It's been a great chat, and like I said, go and check out the link in the description. Go and get involved if you can. Follow Stu, Streetwise Stu, on all your socials. That's been Stu. That's been Scotty. I've been Motty. This has been Scotty and Motty. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.